Now, the ANC is making final preparations ahead of its birthday celebrations tomorrow. The event is taking place in Kimberley, and for a progress update, eNCA political editor Vuyo Mvoko joins me now for exactly that. Now, Vuyo, before we get into perhaps the state of preparedness and readiness for the Jan 8 statement tomorrow, let's just perhaps backtrack and give context on, if at all, any activities that occurred today. I know for one that there was a gala dinner planned which President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to attend.
Well, let's talk to the national spokesperson of the African National Congress, Pule Mabe, to get clarification on that issue and others. Mr. Pule Mabe, thank you very much for joining us. Let's start with the issue of the president. He was supposed to show up at the a big golf event, and he didn't pitch. He sent Treasurer General. What happened?
Well, thanks, Vuyo. Well, we must first start by apologizing to the president. He did earlier in the week indicate his difficulties because he was complaining about back pains. We had hoped that maybe he could be well. So under that condition, it would have been difficult for him to tear off. But also because these are events that the Treasurer General coordinates, which have become synonymous with the January 8 event. So what the TG then did was to take over the teeing off at the golf. But of course, the president will still be participating on other events that are expected to happen later on. He will still be addressing the gala dinner as expected. But also, Vuyo, you would know yourself that with history, normally we try and keep Fridays open. He will tee off and then from there go out and prepare the speech and all of that. Because if you look at it, there's quite little time. Between now and tomorrow, he's expected to prepare his own abridged version of what he will be presenting as an NEC statement, because we'll have the booklet that we issue out to the public, and you'll have an abridged version that the president reads out in the form of a speech.
So it's not, it wasn't because he didn't want to answer questions on ESCOM?
Well, completely no. We came here to the Northern Cape to conduct our activities for January 8, even at the face of growing unemployment in the country. We did not say because the economy is contracting, we are not going to face our people. What kind of a leadership is that? We in the ANC understand that the only way that we can be able to effect our role of leading society is to face our people. Talk to them, acknowledge where things are not going well. That is part of us self-introspecting, self-reflecting, and self-correcting where we can. So there is no way, I don't even think that in his mind that point would have made it as one of the reasons. He had told us, he had indicated that as yesterday, myself and the Treasurer General, when we met with you out in Khaleesi, we were still worried, praying that, hey, maybe he gets it right with his back pain and still manages. At that time, there was no story about ESCOM. No ways. No ways. We don't have, there are certain things that don't even require spinning. They are as straightforward as that, Vuyo.
So as the National Executive Committee, which you are, of course, part,
yes,
you approved the statement. In a nutshell, what is the central message that the ANC wants to communicate to South Africans tomorrow?
Well, Vuyo, I wouldn't really want to go into those details. Safe to say that in everything else, the message that we'll be communicating out to the public is one that must ignite hope amongst our people, is one that must drive forward nation building, is one that must allow us to renew and unite our people. So you will notice when the statement gets to be presented that an acknowledgement is going to be made on the progress that we shall have made and the challenges that we shall have encountered along the way, and the things that we believe that must be done to allow us to build a credible, ethical state, and one that our people can be able to trust. Remember, the ANC is only able to discharge its responsibility of leading society effectively through government. And what did we do? Coming into this January 8, we had just emerged from general elections, which were quite difficult ones, as you'd remember. We need to then say, what was the plan that we put forward to make sure that we could contribute towards building the South Africa that we can all call home? Where are we? what are we doing with a contracting economy? What kind of measures are we putting in place to be able to assure the matric class of 2019 that when they graduate, they could be able to come back to a country that is ready to receive them? Or they could come back to a country where they could be able to deposit their own ideas towards constructing an economy that can contribute to a future that they too desire.
Now, we are at the stadium where you expect thousands of people to gather to listen to the message that ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will be delivering on behalf of the National Executive Committee from that podium behind us, which is still, of course, being erected. Clarify for us the ground rules amidst reports that you don't want umbrellas at the stadium. And many people have been asking, what's wrong with the ANC?
Well, Vuyo, we have subsequently issued a statement that now allows our people here in the Northern Cape, given the heat, to bring umbrellas. We have canvassed this point with the relevant security authorities that are charged with the management of the stadia, because they are those that are responsible for public order. Any event that has got a certain number of people has got to be seen conforming to what is acceptable. And upon putting our case forward, including sharing even our own security plans on the measures that we have in place to make sure that this event becomes a success, they found our case to be compelling. Consensus was then reached that we can then allow our people, responsible people of the ANC, to come in with their umbrellas so that we boost their convenience.
But what is the problem with umbrellas?
Hence, I'm saying that it could have had to do with the size of the gathering itself. And we have had to then assure that because, you'd know that part of the things that go with stadium rules would be don't bring sharp objects, and all of that. And there are varied interpretations on what is a sharp object. So you had to make sure that you assure those that are responsible for public policing that you have got plans in place to make sure that those that will be in the stadia, with or without umbrellas, these are responsible cadres of the African National Congress. They are here to celebrate the birthday of the organization. They so much love, and will do everything else in their own power to make sure that the 108th anniversary of the ANC becomes a resounding success. I mean, all officials of the ANC have been working right around the clock. You have been with us since the 6th of Jan. I mean, the Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress, Comrade Jesse Duarte, has been working effectively with all the teams that are charged with the organization, talking to your security apparatus, talking to those that are responsible to organize transport and all of that. So there's also been an organizing machinery that would ensure that we know how many buses we are supposed to be allocating and how many people are coming from which region, so that we could be able to put plans commensurate with the numbers that we are able to receive.
How many people do you expect?
We've already said that we're expecting about 25,000 people, so we might go beyond that number. But we said we are not going to fall into the trap of stadium mythology. We are going to allow things to unfold, but we're quite confident that we will be able to fill this stadia to capacity.
Pule Mabe, who is, of course, the national spokesperson for the African National Congress, literally hours before President Cyril Ramaphosa delivers that much-awaited speech about what it is that preoccupies the minds of the leadership of the African National Congress in 2020.
All right, thank you so much. That was our political editor, Vuyo Mvoko.